to do. The reality is that we've had a plan now for the last year, which has been based on getting very high levels of vaccination. We've now got around 37 million people who've had that booster jab. And although those infection rates, peaked very sharply around Christmas and continued to rise for a few weeks after, they are now tapering down quite sharply. But crucially, the success of this vaccination program, and we're one of the most successful countries in the world at getting that vaccine rolled out, means that we've dramatically reduced the severity of infections and dramatically reduced the mortality associated with it. So it's the death rates that we're seeing are now, although it's a tragedy when you have those, they are obviously tapering down quite sharply. And, at some point we've got to get back to living life normally and learning to live alongside COVID. And it may be that each year we're going to have possibly other booster jabs, a bit like we do, for instance, on flu. But it does now feel that we're at the stage where we're getting weaker strains of the variant. The success of the vaccine means it's the right time to do this.
And what SAGE, which is the scientific advisory body that advises the government, says they've not given an opinion on this, haven't been consulted on this. So where's the advice coming from for this decision?
Well, the Prime Minister obviously has got the Chief Scientific Advisor and the Chief Medical Officer.
So have they recommended this?
Well, obviously it would have been discussed with them, yes, but we always intended to...
So they've agreed to this, just to be clear?
Well, I haven't... they would have actually given advice on this, yes, but the crucial thing is you only have to look at the data. And we took a decision just before Christmas actually not to increase the levels of restrictions we had, even though at that point infection rates were rising. And that's because we could see a lot of quite strong evidence, particularly from South Africa, that the severity of this strain was weaker and that the vaccines would be successful. And they have been. And indeed, here in Wales now, we're seeing a similar loosening of those restrictions, and that's the right thing to do too.
Delyth, you're shaking your head.
Yes, I am shaking my head because,